D-Man and Steve, they're a buzz. Man's on the mallet. Wednesday night.
Oh my! What a win! That is honestly, I thought we were gonna like scrape a win or something. I thought, Paris Saint-Germain. I thought they were gonna set up 4-3-3. To be honest, they went 4-2-4, and in midfield they had no control of that game whatsoever. And what was even stranger is that Vitinha came on for them, and they brought off Ugarte, and nothing really changed.
Forget them. Talk about us.
Man, I don't even know what to say. I literally have no idea what to say, man. I thought we were excellent. Like Terry said, the shape was brilliant. Dan Burn got beat once or twice, but to be honest, Lascelles. He was excellent, making some, very good tackles. Went in the aerial duel. Same with Fabian Schär. Good passing. The goal from Schär was unbelievable. I honestly, just what a performance. I did not see it.
I don't know what's more impressive tonight, Newcastle's performance or your moustache, bruv. Both absolutely tip-top. There's no doubt. D-Man, an historic night. And I mean this with respect because me and you look about the same vintage. It's been a long time coming, 20 long years to experience that home game back at St. James's Park. And what a way to really re-announce yourselves as a Champions League club.
Listen, what a performance, yeah? Like you said, 20 years. I still remember the 3-2 against Barcelona with Asprilla and that. But this is just as good for me. I can't believe. Listen, to a man, excellent. And I think man of the match, Fabian Schär. I think he was a colossus at the back, topped it up with a goal. But everyone performed tonight. Luis Enrique, he lost as a player, lost as a manager. He just can't get the win against us. But listen, Cloud nine. I think, like you said, we set up really well. I think we managed the game well, defended well, but we didn't. We actually came to play football. We pressured them. We fully deserved the win. I can't stop smiling. I think
after the first 10 minutes, I thought that we slammed the gas on the press. I thought the pressing intensified, and it was wave after wave after wave after wave.
And we looked confident on the ball as well. When we had the ball, we played around them. We looked confident. The little passes, the intricate passes. I think Tonali had a very good game. One of the best games he's had for us. But Bruno again, excellent. I think, absolutely amazing. And Mbappe got shackled.
Not a shot on target. A shot on target. It's crazy.
Shout out yourselves as well, because like you said, like he's coming to the team. Everyone was threatening when Botman went out, and since he's coming, he hasn't put a foot wrong. And he was again amazing.
It just goes to show, doesn't it, what happens when you have a well-drilled team, a confident team with belief, a team with a great mentality. You can have a player like Botman go out. Lascelles, who's good, but nowhere near Botman's level, can step in. And if you have to play for 10, 15 games straight, you won't get the same levels as Botman. But in that short term, came in and delivered. Mo's with us. Obviously, Mo, you're a connoisseur of European football. What did you make of that performance, that win tonight from Newcastle United?
I was watching the game and I kept thinking about Manchester United. It's very strange, huh? I swear to God, people don't believe that. So I was watching the game and all I can think of is this guy, Jamal Lascelles, that people said he's only a championship player. And it just echoes what you said, Terry. When the environment is right, when the commitment is there, when everybody's playing for the club and everybody wants to win, you see that performance. Everybody putting in tackles, they're running, everybody's running there. Every single player wanted to win this game and believe that they can win. Again, it's PSG. Sorry, Kylian Mbappe, a renowned player. Like, look at this, one of the best players in the world, if not the best player. Like Ousmane Dembele, Dan Burn, wasn't scared. Yeah. You look at this and you compare it to the Man United, and I'm bringing it to Man United, not taking anything away from Newcastle, but that's a different environment, and this is what a club is going forward. Stable club goes forward, and this is what you see. Like in the first game against Milan, they were absolutely shambolic, but they got away with a point. Today, they humbled PSG. Like, we can talk tactics and everything, but today Newcastle won just because they wanted to win and they believed they can win. And every single fan in the stadium believed that they can win the game. It didn't matter if it went to Mbappe, went to Vitinha, it didn't matter.
Can I just say, there was I listened to Talk Sport today, right? And there was a kid, I think he was 8 years old, I forgot his name. And he predicted 4-0 Newcastle, but he did say Dan Burn is going to shackle whoever's against him, and he said Dan Burn's going to score as well. So big shout out to him as well.
You know, I actually people called me crazy this morning because I said that Newcastle can win. I'm not going to predict the future, but I said for me it was a 60-40 because PSG are overrated. I watched about 2 games. They're overrated. Yes, they have this world-class player. Mbappe looked disinterested today. He didn't care if they won or lost. Oh, who cares? I wanted to go. To be honest, like Newcastle, they made their fans proud. Eddie Howe proved that I can still press against these fast players and I can win the game. My center back Fabian Schär 3-1, and he's pressing ahead of the halfway line. That proves the shape is right. Everybody knows what they want to do. And yeah, as you said, well-drilled team will win a game, and everybody is committed. They will win a game. It's a reflection of how stable the club is.
Yeah.
No shadow of a doubt. You're absolutely right. It is a true reflection of how well run the football club is. In terms of Newcastle, Mo, I'm not going to get ahead of ourselves and say, can they win it? Because I think that would be a ridiculous question at this point. But how much? There's a lot of people that felt they made top 4 last year, but maybe that came too soon, and they would be shown up in the Champions League. They would struggle in the Premier League. They maybe had a slightly poor start this season, and straight away people jumped on this bandwagon of, see, told you, last year was a bit of a fluke. Their Premier League form's stepping up. First 2 games into the group of death, which they were going to come bottom of, they're sitting top of. This team's got a lot more in it, a lot more gas in the tank. Would you say?
100%. Like in the beginning of the season, people said they're going to finish 10th, and I said no, they will still finish in the top 6. I put them at 6 behind Spurs in my predictions. I put Man United as 4th, and I'm in the mud for that. It's not looking like it's going to happen anytime soon. But listen. The players, they bought the right players. Like Anthony Gordon, I don't like Anthony Gordon. I'm not convinced, but he puts the effort in and he wants to develop, and he's playing for the team.
He fits the team.
Alexander Isak is absolutely developing. Someone like Jacob Murphy came on today. They have a good squad. And I said, I'm going to say one thing. Newcastle are the only team in the Premier League. The only team in the Premier League. Someone is playing a video or something in the background. The only team in the Premier League that have 2 players in every position, apart from the center back. The only team, by the way, in the Premier League. And the only problem is they had 1 injury in the left wing, right? The guy that got injured.
Yeah, Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes got injured. But in every position, they have 2 players. So they basically have 2 teams. Maybe they're not the highest quality, but Eddie Howe, if he can manage that, I think they can play in every competition. They got out of 1 competition, if I'm not mistaken. But I think I predicted him to go out of this group because I overrated, to be honest, Luis Enrique and PSG. I did overrate Luis Enrique and PSG. And it's a tough battle. But Newcastle, they are going in the trajectory of, we're here to stay. We're not here to just drop and be 10th or stuff. They're not, I'm sorry, they're not going to be Brentford. They're not going to be Sheffield United, where they came top 7 one season and then dropped.
I think what helps us, like I said, with the 2 players in every position is the games that we've got in between the European games. And when you look at them, we've got the hard start, like I said, the Liverpool, the Man Cities, but we've had Sheffield United, Brentford, Sheffield United, and we've got West Ham. So I think that kind of helps Howe with his selection. He doesn't have to go full strength in all those games because we're good enough to get points off those teams. So I think that helps us in a big way. And like you said, we want 4 points now, off to a good start. Win our home games. We're more than capable of beating Dortmund and Milan at home. It's looking quite positive. It's looking very positive.
Hey,
you know what?
Sorry, go on, mate.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, you know what? The thing is, it's like I'm just so proud of the guys tonight because we seized the moment. We weren't just enthralled by the spectacle and the occasion. We didn't just live in that and be content with it. We grabbed the opportunity with both hands and made the absolute most of it. That's the thing for me, where it's like I feel like in the Carabao Cup, I think we played a bit too much of the occasion. Whereas now in these big games, to a lesser extent, last week against Man City, it was B team. We didn't play the occasion. We played our football.
And the game manager.
I wanted to ask a question to Terry. Why Eddie Howe can get the best out of, a mediocre player?
True, it's true.
On the big stage, Terry, but some other managers can't. Can anybody answer that?
So listen, I mean, I do have I have a genuine theory on this. When you said, Mo, that when you were watching the game, you were thinking about Man United, I was. And that's because I'm a Man United fan. And there was a part of me that was envious, a part of me that was jealous, a part of me that wished we had better owners, as I said earlier. But what reminded me of the Man United game is the way our crowd was last night compared to the Newcastle crowd. There were similarities. When Rasmus Højlund got his second goal last night, I jumped up and ran around the room. I ran into his office. I was so happy because it felt like a little bit of coming of age for him. And it was like, look, we're playing well, we scored. And then we went and conceded straight away. We didn't keep our shape. Our players stopped working hard. Then we lost our heads. The difference is for me, is that I think Ten Hag, I think if Ten Hag leaves Man United tomorrow, he'll go somewhere else and do a very good job. I think there's a very good coach in there.
Yeah.
The difference is Newcastle will run well. And people hate that reasoning because they go, that's just excuses. It isn't. Well-run clubs from top to bottom, where everybody is striving and pulling in the same direction, deliver. And the reason I know this is a factual piece of information is every home, every workplace, every school, every classroom, every lecture hall, every business, every sports team in every corner of the world follows that same pattern. If everybody is pulling in the same direction, yes, they challenge each other. Yes, there'll be disagreements at times, but everybody's target is the same thing. Everybody is pulling in the same direction. There is always going to be harmony. Every single Newcastle player is doing their job because they want to do it for the manager. The manager has got full support, top to bottom, from the owners who want the same thing as the manager. And that is to become the best football team in the world. That is how it's done. Because if Eddie Howe was managing Newcastle under Mike Ashley, they wouldn't be good, in my opinion. How do we know this? Because Newcastle in the last 20 years have had a number of decent managers. They never did this, including Rafa Benitez. So we've seen this before. If you start to, it's a combination of everything. If that makes, people always try and do this. Oh, it's just the manager who's brilliant. Well, I've had brilliant managers before and it didn't work. Yeah. Newcastle signed some really good players in the last 20 years. Didn't work. So for me, it's a combination of everything. I don't think it's just one thing. He's a good manager. He's a bad manager. Newcastle, got to remember this. Newcastle's new signings would turn up, go to the training ground. Oh, we need an ice bath.
Really big.
And they were told to get into wheelie bins and paddling pools for children. The message that sends to your players is we are not serious.
Yeah.
And the difference is now they all know this is a serious place to be. And it focuses the mind and it makes people run through walls. I've seen that in my professional life. I've seen it in my personal life. And I know it's what goes on right now. And I had an argument not long ago, Mo, on socials with a guy who told me, he was a Man United fan. And he said that day to day at training, and in the dressing room on match days, he said he doesn't believe there's a difference in the behavior, the attitude of the general staff and players between Man United and Man City. He said it will be identical. It's a nonsense there'll be any difference in behavior. And for me, I laughed like that. I was on Twitter, but I'm at home laughing, saying I can't believe what I am hearing, because I guarantee you there is a fundamental difference between those two places of work.
150%.
There just is. And that's why.
Listen, 150%. I was speaking to Mohamed Kaloun. If you're old enough, you know Mohamed Kaloun. He played for Inter. He was the captain of the Sierra Leone team. He's here in Houston. And I was speaking to him. I played against him and I was speaking to him. And he was telling me the difference between that Inter team when they had Ronaldo. And that's why he left Inter. He said, I left because it was too strict in every aspect of my life. He went to the Etihad in Saudi Arabia to collect the money and live like a king. He played for Monaco, he played for Inter, and he said in training ground, it's completely different between a club and the next club. There is a club that is more strict, that they want to win, and a club that is lenient, and they bend for the big players. He said that happens in reality. And it's very obvious that Newcastle players, it doesn't matter what's your name, you're going to work hard. For Man City today, Jack Grealish, superstar, it doesn't matter. You go out, someone else, Bernardo Silva goes out. Everybody is working for one goal. It's not happening at Man United. And it's very obvious. And if you can't see it, you're freaking blind.
Yeah.
You're blind.
Sorry, that's what I say, Steve. To bring it back to Newcastle, Eddie Howe is a fantastic coach. And he was somebody, when he was at Bournemouth, I rated and praised. He then got relegated and his stock dropped and suddenly nobody wanted him anymore. People spoke about him like he was a bum. Eddie Howe, 5 years ago in the Prem is what everybody says De Zerbi is right now. That was the way, for all the kids that don't remember, that is how he was being discussed. And he is an impeccable motivator, an impeccable tactician. He understands to not try and play a style of football that the overall squad can't deliver. So he plays within the means that he has. But you couple that with an excellent board, a club that's striving to win, and a squad that knows if you're not pulling your weight and doing as the manager says, the board are backing him, not you. And all those things together are creating the best Newcastle team we've seen now in 20 years, and a team that wants to win those big trophies, that wants to become something special. And as a man, I'm sure there are fans of multiple clubs watching that are like, I'm just jealous. And they may not be better than your club right now, but I'm telling you this now. In my opinion, barring Man City, there's no guarantee that any other club barring Man City in 5 years' time is going to be above Newcastle overall. The only team I would say that I would still say would be above them is City because of where they are now, and I don't see their owners being relentless. Everybody else, I don't think any of the other top teams, Man United definitely, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, none of them are as well run as Newcastle United right now. None of them. Not one. And they are going to be very, very hard to compete with because of that overall and overarching stuff. Now, people will say Arab money, yawn. Listen,
don't care.
It is what it is. It is what it is. And if your club tomorrow was overtaken by somebody from the Middle East or any part of the world with that kind of money, you would be celebrating. You'd be opening the champagne. I'm going to do a little bit of a Conor McGregor here. You'd be on the phone to your wife saying, "Crack out the red panties, baby. We've made it. We're there. We've done it." Everybody would. And look, True Geordie is a man I respect him as a content creator and what he's achieved. He did that for years. He slagged off City. They get the Saudi owners, and I remember watching his video, and he was just like a kid in the candy store. It's it. The reason people project against City, against Chelsea, against Newcastle is jealousy. That is it. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, 110%. You can't get away from that.
Jared, do you want to do some super chats? Because I was going to answer Mo's question about Eddie Howe and why do you think he gets most out of lesser players? Or do you want to do super chats first?
If you can answer that within a minute for me, then we'll go to the super chats, and I want to speak on City as well tonight. But stay with us, people. Go on, Steve.
I was just gonna say, you know why I think that Eddie Howe gets the more out of lesser players than like an Arteta out of a Nelson? It's because Eddie Howe had to start from the bottom of the bottom. He had no choice in League Two with Bournemouth facing bankruptcy and all the wild stuff. He had no choice but to work with what he had. He had no choice. And he had to continue to improve as a manager, be like, I need to get better at this. I need to get better at the defensive aspect of my game. Let me go talk to Diego Simeone. He is willing to learn, and he has started from the bottom. Klopp at Mainz. That's not a big profile club. He had to work with limited resources. Look at what Klopp does. He gets the most out of players. That for me is the answer, because he had to start from nothing and he had to make.
Mate, it's him as a cut. He earned his stripes very early on. You're bang on there, mate.